Hello and welcome to today's math lesson. Today we will start a new topic which is adding and subtracting fractions. Before we start our lesson properly, could you make sure you have some paper, pen ready for the lesson? If you don't, pause me now, go and grab them and come back again. Now that we have all equipment ready, this is a 6 starter question. Pause the video for 10 minutes, have a go with all 6 questions. When you finish, start the video again, then you can check your answers. Here are all the answers for the starter question. Mark them and don't forget to email your class teacher with the score that you got out of 6. For example, if you've done 4 right, write 4 out of 6 for retrieval practice and email it to your class teacher. We know how to order negative number, but we need to just make sure we know what does the ascending order means. Ascending order, it means you start from smallest and you go to biggest. And remember, when you're dealing with negative number, when you go towards more negative number, they getting smaller and smaller. So that's why negative 198 is the smallest one. Again, ascending order, it means sort them, put them in order from smallest to biggest. Highest common factor, don't forget factors means listing the factors means list those two numbers. If you times together, you get the original number. For example, if I'm listing the factors of 18, I'm finding which two numbers, if I times together, I get to 18. 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Same things for 12, 1 and 12, because if I times 1 and 12, I get 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Same for 6, and then you will just check which one is in common in all 3 and is the highest one, because you're looking for highest common factor. You have 5 pieces, you want 3 be shaded, so you've done 3 out of 5. In here we've done equivalent fraction before, so if they're asking to show that is equivalent fraction, so you just pick if the same things happening at the top and bottom both. So the top number 2 being times by 9 to get to 18 and 5 being times by 9 to get to 45 as well. So which means yes, these two fractions, they are equivalent. Converting a mixed number to an improper fraction, if you remember, times 3 by 5, which is 15, add the top number, so you have 15 add 1, which is 16. That number you found goes at the top and the denominator always stay as it is, so your answer is going to be 16 over 5. And fully simplifying, when you're dealing with fraction, you do the calculation at the top, so you do 5 add 15, which is 20, then 20 add 30, which is 50. That 50 goes at the top. Then for denominator, you have a square root of 25, which is 5, and at the end you have 50 over 5, which is the same as 50 divided by 5, which is equal to 10. As I said, don't forget to record your score out of 6 and email it to your class teacher. Here you can see what you expect in this topic: adding and subtracting fraction with equal denominator, with simplifying and without simplifying, and then add and subtracting mixed number, add and subtracting with different denominator. But what we're going to do today is about adding and subtracting with the same denominators. So now please write yellow in your book, and yellow is to know how to add or subtract the fractions with the same denominator. So today we're just looking at the same denominators, but we have 2 steps. First step to looking at the same denominator with no simplifying at the end, and then the second step is just look at the same denominator with the simplifying at the end. Okay, let's start with a few examples. Okay, in the first one, I have 7 over 30 add 6 over 30. When you're dealing with addition and subtraction, you need to make sure you look at the denominator first. So your first step, you should just look at the denominator, and if the denominator are the same, and that's what we do in this lesson, you can only write one of the denominator and at the top. And how you can write it is this way. So again, you look at the denominator. If the denominator are the same, you're not adding or subtracting the denominator. You just look at it. If they are the same, you're just going to write one of them. You're not adding or subtracting the denominator. So you look at them. If they are the same, you're only going to write one of them as a denominator. Then at the top you have 7 add 6. So at the top you're going to write 7 add 6. Now I easily can say 7 add 6 is 13, and that 30 stay where they are. Okay, so I have at the top I have 13 because that's 7 add 6, and then the denominator stay as it was. So my last answer is 13 over 30. And as you can see, I can't simplify it. I can't simplify the fraction at the end. So that's going to be my last answer. Okay, pause me now and have a go with the video question, please. Again, for video, have a look. You have a same denominator, so you're going to write one of the denominator down. So I have one of the denominator there. Then at the top, I will write whatever I have at the top. So I have 17 add 6. So I write 17 add 6 at the top, and denominator, because the denominator are the same, I just only going to write one of them. Then calculate the top. 17 add 6 gives you 23 over 30. And as you can see, you can't simplify your answer, so your last answer is 23 over 30. Well done if you managed to do it right. Now again, another example in here. This time we're doing subtraction. But as I said, these rules are when you do addition and subtraction, so it works for both of them. Look at the denominator. As you can see, the denominator, they are the same. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write one of the denominator and subtract the top. So I will write at denominator, I will write 30, because the denominators are the same, so I'm just going to write one of them. I'm not going to add or subtract the denominator, be careful. I'm just going to write one of them. Then I have 17 take away 6, so I have 17 take away 6. Now I just do my calculation. 17 take away 6 is 11, which is over 30. So it's 11 over 30, and I can't simplify my answer, so this is the last answer. Now pause me here and do the video question, please. Again, in the video question, we need to look at the denominator. Denominator are the same, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to write one of the denominators for a new denominator and then subtract the top. So I have 6 take away 4 at the top and 13 at the bottom as a denominator. So then I need to do the calculation at the top. 6 take away 4 is 2. I'm going to write it at the top and denominator stay as it is. And as you can see, you can't simplify your answer. So that's going to be your last answer. Well done if you managed to do it. Here you can see a slightly different example. As you can see, I'm dealing with 3 fractions. But don't confuse yourself, just do it step by step. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick the first 2 fractions. So I'm just going to look at the first 2 fractions. I start from left, I pick the first 2 fractions. It's the same as when I had 17 over 3 take away 6 over 3. So I completely ignore the last fraction for now. I look at the denominators, so they are the same. So what are you going to do? I'm going to write one of the denominator and subtract the top. So I just wrote one of the denominator. I do 17 take away 6. So 17 take away 6, which is 11. So my answer is going to be 11 over 30. So I found the answer for these first 2. So I'm just going to rewrite it in here. Then I have the answer for this one. I haven't finished yet. I have the answer for this one, which is 11 over 30, take away 4 over 30. So I need to do 11 over 30 take away 4 over 30. So I have one step more. Just make sure you keep the order though. Okay, now look at the denominator. They are the same, so keep one of the denominator and subtract the top. So if you subtract the top, 11 take away 4 is 7, so 7 over 30. So which means the answer for a whole 3 subtractions is 7 over 30. Now pause the video and have a go with video question, please. Okay, now it's the same. As I said, you're dealing with 3 fractions and it's only addition and subtraction. We don't have multiplication, division. We're only dealing with addition and subtraction. So I picked the first two. And I work out the answer for that bit. So denominator are the same. Write one of the denominator, take away the top. So 6 take away 5 is 1 over 13. Now I have the answer for this one. So I'm gonna write it down, but I haven't finished yet. I need to have the answer for this one add to the last fraction. So I need to add the last fraction to it. If I want to add the last fraction, I still can see the same denominator. So I'm going to write one of the denominator and add the top. So if you add the top, you get 12 over 13. So which means the last answer for all 3 calculation is 12 over 13. Very well done if you managed to do this one right. Now in here, to do more practice, you have practice exercise 1. You have 10 questions there. Have a go with all 10 questions. When you finished, pause the video, not more than 10 minutes. Pause the video, have a go with all 10 questions and then start the video again. Here are all the answers for practice exercise 1. So mark it properly and make sure when you have, for example on C and D, when you have 0 over something that's equal to 0, make sure you know those facts. And when, for example on I, you have 25 over 25, without dividing a number by itself, you get equal to 1. So make sure you know those kind of things. Mark it properly. And record your score out of 10, whatever you have, and don't forget at the end of the lesson, email your class teacher what you've got for retrieval practice exercise 1. Now that we know how to add or subtract with the same denominator, and at the end, as you just saw, we didn't have any simplifying, but now we want to have a look. Adding and subtracting is still the same denominator, but at the end we end up with the fraction that we can simplify. So let's look at it. As you can see, I have a denominator the same. So what I'm going to do, I write one of the denominators and add the top. So I have 30 as a denominator and then 7 add 11. So I have 7 at the 11 at the top. 7 at 11 is 18, so that 18 goes at the top and 30 stays as a denominator. So I end up with 18 over 30. But if you check, this is not the simplest form. We know how to simplify fractions. And as you can see there, 18 over 30 is not in the simplest form. You get the question in your test that write your answer in the simplest form. So that's why you need to just know how to simplify your last answer as well. You need to check, for simplify, you need to check what number both top and bottom divisible by. What number goes in both of them. In here, I can divide by 2, I can divide by 3. If you divide by 2 and 3, you need to simplify again and again. But if I simplify by 6, because both of them, they are divisible by 6 as well. If I divide both of them by 6, I get my answer in the simplest form. But as I said, if you divide by 2 or 3, you still got the answer, but you need to simplify again and again until you get to a simplest form. But in here, I divide by 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3 and 30 divided by 6 is 5. So I have 3 over 5 in a simplest form. As you can see, 3 and 5, I can't simplify it more. Now pause the video and have a go with the video question, please. Now again, we have a denominator the same. We're going to write one of the denominator at the top. So I have 7 at 14 at the top and 30 as a denominator. 7 at 14 gives me 21 over 30. You can see that you can simplify your answer because 21 is divisible by 3 and 30 is divisible by 3 as well. So both of them is in 3 times table. So I can simplify them by dividing by 3. So if I do 21 divided by 3, you get 7, and if you divide 30 by 3, you get 10. So I divide both of them by 3. 21 divided by 3 is equal to 7, 30 divided by 3 is equal to 10. And double check your last answer. I can't simplify it more, so that's the simplest form. Very well done if you managed to do this one right. Okay, now more example here. I have same denominator. I'm going to write one of the denominators and subtract the top. So I have one of the denominator as 20, then 14 take away 6. 14 take away 6 gives me 8 over 20. Now double check if you can simplify it. You know even number are divisible by 2. But I can find, you can divide both of them by 2 and find your answer, which is 4 over 10. But then again, 4 over 10, they both are even, so you can divide by another 2 and find your last answer. But instead of doing in 2 steps, you can do it, that's not wrong, but instead of doing in 2 steps, I straight do it in 1 step, because I know that 8 and 20 both are divisible by 4. So instead of dividing by 2, I divide them by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And as you can see, I can't simplify it more. So I have my answer in the simplest form. So you need to keep simplifying until your answer is in the simplest form. It doesn't matter you do it in 2 steps. 1 step is up to you. Pause the video and have a go with video question, please. Just remember, in the video you're dealing with 3 fractions and you know how to deal with 3 fractions. Okay, in 3 fraction, I pick the first 2 first. Okay, I'll look at the denominator. They are the same. I'm going to write one of the denominators, subtract the top. So 14 take away 7, give me 7 over 20, because the denominator stays as 20. Now I have the answer for that red box, but I haven't finished the calculation yet. So I have the answer for the red box. Add to 1 over 20. Now I need to calculate this one. Both denominators are the same. Write one of the denominator at the top, which is 8 over 20. Again, you can simplify your answer. Double check what number you can divide by. I can divide both of them by 4 and you get 2 over 5. Here you have 7 questions. Have a go with all of them. Just 5 minutes. They are quite easy one. Pause the video for 5 minutes. Have a go with all 7 questions and then come back for the answers. Here you can see all the answers. Make sure you needed to just write your answer in the simplest form. That was part of the question, and in simplest form it means you need to simplify your answer as much as you can. And as you can see, for example, on A I end up with 3 over 5, which I can't simplify it more. So you need to end up with the answer that you can't simplify more than. Okay, record your score out of 7 and make sure you email those as well, please. Here there are 6 more questions for you to practice more. You dealing with 3 fractions. and make sure you have mix of addition and subtraction, and just make sure you read the question carefully, which one is addition, which one is subtraction. Sometimes in one question you have mix of addition and subtraction in only one question. Just be careful what you need to do. And then when you're reading the question telling you to just write your answer in a simplest form. Make sure at the end, when you finish your calculation, everything, make sure your last answer should be in a simplest form. Have a go with all of them, and then pause the video now, have a go with all of them, and start the video again. Here are all the answers for last part of the lesson. So this is end of the lesson. Mark it, make sure you have your answer in the simplest form. Again, on F, remember 0 over anything, doesn't matter what do you have as a denominator. Always when you have 0 at the top, it's going to be equal to 0. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. What you need to do for the last part of the lesson, record your score out of 6, and as I said, don't forget to email your class teacher with the score that you got through the lesson. And also don't forget that to do your Hegeti work as well. So make sure you log into your Hegeti Maths and see what your teacher been set for you, and do those work, please. Enjoy your day and see you next lesson.